We were on AM and he was trying to break in for some reason. Okay, well, hey Russ, don't throw out those 6EW7s. That's a real nice substitute for a 6DE7, Delta Echo 7. It's a higher dissipation, a lower plate resistance dual triode on the second section. Makes a great screen modulator. Using one now. A 6EW7 is what is modulating this transmitter at 220 watts, a miniature 9-pin tube. So don't throw that away. The 6DQ5, of course, that's the output of the mighty Gonset G76, as well as the HX50, which has arrived in Anaheim, California, and that's the latest I have on it. What else? Oh, I looked up a 6AS11, and I remember those tubes. That was a very, very common tube. They're going for $12 to $28 on eBay. So I don't know if there's much demand for them, but you know what they were was like 2 or 3 or maybe 4 tubes in one envelope. I don't know how they made those things. How do they make those things? Like, that seems like it would be pretty tough to do. But you know, you could make something with them. I mean, if it's like, you know, a couple of triodes and you know, a penta, you know, you could actually design a radio around it. I have sockets for it and everything. It would be kind of cool to build like a Compactron receiver. It's like one tube, but it had like 4 or 5 stages in it. Like that would be pretty cool. You know, if I was into building more, I would look into that. I don't know. I'd have to look them up and see like what was actually in the envelopes. And some of those tubes had like 28 pins or something. They had like this crazy amount of pins. They must have put like a whole television set into one glass envelope of tubes. It was like crazy. I don't know how that works and how they didn't interfere with each other. But that was a long time ago. But there's you know, there's some people who are into restoring those things, and you know, now that it's all digital and everything, I guess you have to have like some kind of digital analog converter to even like look at the things, which would be you know, fuzzy picture, and you know, I don't know who would want to do that, but it's cool. My nephew likes the old Bakelite table radios and stuff with you know, the old tubes in it, and he's got a couple of them. I fixed a couple for him. He really enjoys them. 1, 2, check. And yeah, multi-layer boards. Well, I don't think TVs had too many of them. They were expensive. I worked at a factory that made them for a couple of years, and they would you know, they would get the layers, and they had this giant heated press that would press them together, and then they would drill the holes, and they would sandblast them to get the smeared epoxy out, and then they would run them through a plating line to plate the holes so that it would connect all the layers. And then I guess when they were manufactured, they would shove a pin through those layers, those holes, or not. But yeah, I worked at a factory that made them for a while. So let's turn it over to KB2UKA. I think I got all the questions. Yeah, and you can send me the 6DQ5 and 6EW7s you got there, Russ, or you know, somebody use them, and a good substitute for DX60, DX40s, you know, that kind of screen modulated rig. KB2UKA and the group from N2DTS. Handle is Brett, Bravo Romeo Echo Tango Tango. We're located in southern New Jersey. You got Jim, KC3 NWN, and Russ, WB3 FAU, who you will turn it to. Go ahead, from sunny southern New Jersey.
All right, Brett. Well, good to speak to you again. Name here is Doug, Delta Oscar Uniform Golf. I think we spoke over the last few weeks. I got to look in the logbook. N2DTF. Yeah, and when I broke in, I was muffled. I was on the wrong audio profile. I hope you guys are doing well. You guys, I've been listening in a little bit. You guys are all 20 plus over here. I'm Long Island, New York. About 50 miles east of New York City, about a half a mile from the Long Island Sound. And I'm just enjoying listening. The audio sounds great. I'm on all modern stuff here, and I've been starting to get my eye on some of the vintage stuff, and I really have no idea where to start. I've been looking at the Vikings and the Globe Kings and all that fun stuff. And yeah, I want to get some vintage stuff here since I've been playing on AM a lot. The station here right now is a Sunsdr2 DX. I'm running about a 200 watt carrier into a 43-foot ground-mounted vertical with a 125 ground radials. Some of you have heard this story over the last few weeks. So let me pass it to you, Russ. I do have your call sign somewhere here. Hope you're doing well. How copy? Over?
Needs a lot more audio.
Yeah, I don't copy, Russ.
Yeah, Doug, I didn't get your call, but yeah, I'm hearing you quite well. I was hoping to hear from Brian, but no such luck. We'll wait around for a while here. I'll keep the tube that you want, Brett, and if you need him home. Which is a sweet tube drink. KB2UKA. Okay, Tim. Got Doug's call. Texted me. KB2UKA. And he's coming in real well, Jim. So I'm just playing too. So you know. All right. Well, let's just do that. I'm going to quit playing tube, and I'm going to try to pay attention here. That other tube was a 60W7, Brett. Okay, we'll save that. I'm aware of that tube. Well, I'm aware of the modulation system used in like a DX60 and other screen modulated or whatever variable. So, scope here, which is definitely acting up. Still is. Somewhat better. Yeah. They got some kind of interference on the scope lead and what's going on. Or you had it, you sent it to me, and then there's an 8-land breaker, which I didn't do. So, what was the breaker in 8-land? This is WB3FAU.
Hey, what's up, Rod?
I probably put that down wrong, but yeah, Lucky, Ohio. I don't know how lucky you are, but anyway, we know you're in Ohio. And your name again, please?
India Alpha November Frank. The call again is Kilo 1 Italy Golf United.
Yeah. You got a pretty good signal in here. Yeah, you're doing all right. And I'll just get some moving around. But he's probably coming in here big time. All right, stand by, Brian. Let's get back to Jim. KC3NWN. I'm going to go check the throwaway bin. See if I threw something away I should have kept.
WB3FAU and the crew. So Russ, yeah, you're going to have to, now that Brett brushed you up, you're going to have to go back to that throwaway bin. Yeah. All right, good. I'm hearing everybody. Doug, yeah, I hear you well out in Long Island. I hear everybody good out in Long Island. Must be all that salt water around you. Yeah, I talk to Ron a lot. He's W2RON. He's on the very northeast end of Long Island there. You sound good on that Sun SDR. You know, I'm hearing more and more Sun SDRs out there. I'm hearing more and more of them. And on some of the guys, they say they can't buzzer on them because I think it's after like 120 seconds, like 2 minutes or something, it automatically turns off the transmitter because it wants to protect something. I forget what it wants to protect, and I don't know if it's the finals or something. But I was wondering if yours does that. I know a lot of guys like the Sun SDR, the software in them, way better than the Flexes and the Anons. Yeah, Ron out there runs an Anon. But you sound good. And Brian, yeah, I talked to you before. Yeah, you're out in Lucky, Ohio. You got a good signal here. You're not strong, but you're clear. You're definitely Q5 and good audio. You're about maybe S8, S9. So not sounding bad there, Brian. Glad you jumped in. Glad Doug jumped in. So yeah, you're gonna have to let me know, Doug, if make a comment if the software turns off the transmitter after like 2 minutes or something. Some guys say they have it, and some guys say it doesn't happen to them. I don't know. It must be relative to the model or something. Okay, let's go out to Ohio. Brian, hey, I'm on a DX100, Brian. Listening on an NC300. Got a inverted V dipole up, vertex up about 35 feet. 33 degrees here in Florian. Out to Brian in Ohio. K8IGU, KC3NWN.
I think it's got some changes with like the break-in or keying or something. As far as I know, never had one. Yeah, I'm sure you can find that information online, or ask somebody who has one. They probably researched it. Well, glad you jumped in there, Brian. I think I get it.
Brian, you copy? Yeah, I'm not an expert on the Ranger, but there are a couple of key points worth mentioning. One is the Ranger 2 is updated like the Valiant 2, but push-to-talk is built in, and that is not a fact in most of the Ranger 1. They in fact added push-to-talk kit. You could buy it, but those are the two main items. Different shipping enclosure, different knobs, you know. They both look good, but they look different. So they improved the Ranger 1 or the Ranger 2, and they improved the Viking and the Valiant 2. So, QSL there, Brian? Okay. Brian, refresh me again. Where is the next largest city near Lucky? Is that what you...
Yeah, Daryl, I hope everything's all right, brother.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Brian. Yep. You're doing pretty good. If you're straight up barefoot on the Ranger, you're doing quite well. I also found a I've got a couple of those I found in the archive. There you go. Drag your feet for Brian, see if he's ready to get back in here, because I'm not going to stay in here much longer. And we forgot UKA, but I haven't heard Jim either. Jim, why don't you get it now? Send it around. WB3FAU.
WB3FAU, KC3NWN, and the crew. 73, Brian, out there in Lucky, Ohio. Good hearing you again. Had some QSB on your last transmission, but I got it all. Good hearing you, Brian. Hope to hear you again soon. 73. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna bail out of here, Russ. I'll listen out and I'll leave the radio on and hear how Brian's other T3 sounds once he gets it fired up and running right. And I'm working on a program over there. I'm working on one of my Unix boxes. So I'll go work on that and I'll monitor. Might even have to go in and get a glass of water. I had pumpkin pie for lunch. And then I had, for breakfast, I had a stogie and a cup of coffee. Breakfast of champions. Yeah. Well, I usually don't eat until the XYL makes a nice supper, so. All right, 73, everybody. It's good hearing everybody. Good hearing Doug and Brian, too. And it's good hearing the usual crew. I'm going to monitor out. I'm going to monitor while I'm over there working. So, let's see what else. I guess that's it. Back down to you, Brett. N2, DTS, and the crew. 73, guys, all listen out. I want to hear about that Sun SDR. KC3NWN.
Okay, 73's Jim, and I guess you'll be getting out, Russ. Nobody answered Doug's question. And 73 to Brian in Lucky, Ohio. I would buy a lottery ticket. He probably hears that all the time. Doug, what to get as a vintage transmitter? Well, it depends on the, of course, the money you want to spend. the effort it might take to get it working well or keep it working well, and the power output that you're looking for. And there's a couple of ways to go about that, of course. You can get a small, low power, light, easy to use or move around transmitter and put it into a big amplifier and get anywhere from 100 to 300 watts out, depending on the amplifier. Or you can get something a little bit bigger, like a 32V3 is a very nice transmitter, very well made. They sound great. Pretty good stock. Heathkit Apache or DX100, or a Viking Valiant would take some going through if it's in stock form to make it decent and reliable. And then, you know, you can match it up with a boat anchor receiver, or use an SDR, or use the Sun. Just a quick comment on your audio, not a criticism, just pointing out it sounds way over-processed. Over-processed and maybe a little bit of echo on it. It sounds really, I really like you're trying too hard. Really it doesn't sound natural, put it that way. That may be the sound you're looking for, the really loud, maybe professional AM radio commercial sounds, but it doesn't sound natural to me. Just point that out, because I know you probably have a lot of control over what that software will do. And I think people maybe get a little carried away, and you know, they get so many things to play with that they lose track of what they're trying to accomplish. So let's just put that out there. I don't know if anybody else has an idea. Like if you go through and get a really good Ranger, or you go to Ranger and you go through it, those into an amplifier can, a lot of guys will run that. DX60, into an amplifier, but that needs a VFO, which, it's not insurmountable, but it's another box. And the ever-present Apache DX100, 32V, Valiant, Viking II with, modifications that, anywhere from broadcast transmitters, Class D rigs, the DYY rig, very efficient. Depends what you're looking for. Something with a lot of meters and tubes and things like that, there's bigger rigs. Johnson 500, Johnson kilowatt, with or without the desk. The Collins 30K1, which is a really nice upstanding, floor-standing 300-watt transmitter, etc., etc., etc. It all depends what you're looking for. KB2UKA and the group from N2DTS.
Gone D76. And what about your HX50? Where's it at? See ya. KC3 NWN.
I'll write those down too, KC3. All right, Brett, let's see where to get started. Well, yeah, I left a lot out. So, yeah, I want something big. I want, the price is whatever it's going to be. 200 to 300 watt carrier without an amplifier. Preferably in working order, and that's just a time restraint. I'd like to get used to using one, and then as a hobby, restore something else. But just to get something working in here, I don't really have the time right now to go through a restoration. So yeah, something big's fine. And yeah, I'd prefer to have a VFO already built in. You are correct on the audio processing, and you know what they say about audio. Very, very subjective. Some people love what they hear coming out of this thing. Some people don't. And Yeah, you're right. I'm way overkill. I'm not even processing any of, and the room is hot. So I had reverb on, which I shut off when you were talking, and it'll still sound like I have reverb on. The room is hot. Actually, I just shut it off now, and the room is hot. So I process all the audio outside of the SDR software. I process it, but it's all virtual though. I process it all in Logic Pro, which is a digital audio workstation for iMac. So yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 plugins that I'm using. 7 if I had the reverb on, which I shut off now. So I'm going from parametric EQ into an Aphex exciter, into a different stock exciter, to a bass booster, to a little bit of compression, and a brick wall limiter at 0 dB. It is what I'm going for. So I'm sorry if it's not music to your ears, but I'm sure you'll get over it. And Jim, it's a 5-minute timer on the Sun SDR, and I'm actually in the testing group of their V3, version 3 of their software. So I get the alpha release about a month or 2 before they do a public release, and it's not going to be finished till the end of next year. They just started working on it probably summer of this year, maybe late spring. And I'm working with them to try to get that to be able to be turned off for AM use. You know, and you're correct. It's to protect the finals. That's what it's in there for. Luckily, I'm not that long-winded, so I don't have it trip too often. But when I do, I just have to unkey, take my foot off the pedal, and then press it back down, and it starts the clock right back over. So 73, Jim, I don't know if you're still in there. If you are, let me just drop it for a second to see if you have any comments.
Okay, cool, Doug. Yeah, I was wondering about that, and so I guess they'll eventually get rid of that. I mean, it's not a big deal if it's 5 minutes. Not even Timtron can go that long. But okay, cool. Thanks for the update. But I know all the people that use the SDRs, the Sun, the Russian SDRs. They love them. They swear by them. I talked to a guy down in West Virginia that has one, and he loves his. I forget when his. I guess they're all the same, the 5 minutes or whatever. I think for some reason it's 2 minutes. Maybe they're different for each software or version. But cool beans, yeah. And let's tell. Brett has a G76. I want one of them. So if you see a G76, they're a cool transceiver, AM transceiver. And then make a comment next time around, Brett, on your HX50. Where's it at? Doug, nice meeting you. We'll talk to you again. Always get a good signal from guys out of Long Island. You're strong in here. You're about 10, 20 over, bouncing around in there. 73, everybody. Back to you, Doug. KC3 NWN.
All right, Jim. I think we've spoken over the last few weeks. I forget to log on AM, which is weird. I guess because it's more conversational. But I got you in there now, so I won't forget next time. 73. I'm not sure who I pass it to. Do I pass it to Russ? Let's see if Russ is still in there. Whiskey Bravo 3, Foxtrot Alpha Uniform.
5-minute timer, man. We got to get Tim one of them.
You know, they used to make a 10-minute timer specifically for ham. And yes, we know a lot of people that need to just do that. There used to be a rule. 10 minutes, get the hell off the air and let somebody else talk. So, stick around here. Doug here, he is just fine in here. And, okay on everybody's ideas. Audio and this and that or the other. So I'm going to be interested to see what becomes of
What's up, Mike? Doing a little AM this afternoon. I'm going to be off here pretty soon. Hey, Bob.
Brian N3 TBW has not returned, but we're waiting on him. But probably shouldn't. But you never know. I'll stick around for a little while longer, but not much longer. And no, I didn't find any of that tube type that you mentioned. Brett, was it a 60W7? I didn't see one of those. But I did find some interesting tubes. Like I got a brand new 6.8G7, which is an oscillator in several pieces of plastic. Oh. Rig could he get? What do you like? You like the way it sounds? Get one of those. That's not normally what you find unless you find something when you turn that into a linear. Globe King. Well, there's a lot of stuff you can use, but generally 300 watts. That's gonna be a small rig like a Ranger or something else. You're driving into a limit. About home. Brett, you're gonna be by yourself where we're out here. Hopefully, within a short period of time, Brian will bust in, but if he doesn't, okay. I think Jim's signing, but he may still be listening, and I think he wants to step out. You want to make one more, or you can say 2-3 and what you want? Good afternoon, guys. I'm man 2-4.
Well, I heard N9. I think it's N9 GTO, but in the noise. Yeah, Russ, you're fading down. Doug is still holding up. So, and Jim, if you're still listening, the HS650 is in Anaheim or just left California, so it's beginning its journey. Okay, Doug. Well, just I prefer it with the reverb off, but it's all it all depends on what you want and who's listening to it. But I just thought I'd point that out. But yeah, the Sun can work. There's nothing wrong with them. But we really need to get Tim one. If it times out in 5 minutes.
Hey, Andy.
That's something that's really called for. Yeah, well, 300 watts around that. Well, you got a Johnson 500. That's a nice transmitter. I would. If I had funds, I would say probably a Johnson 500 because it has its issues, but if somebody has gone through and corrected it, it's a tabletop transmitter, and I think the power supply is separate, so it's like a nice 100-watt looking transmitter on the desk, but it's actually 500 watts input. It's probably good for 300-400 watts out, and I think it runs 811As, which you could plug 572Bs in as modulators, and I think it's like a 4-250 or something in the final, or 4400. I don't know. There's a Collins 30K1, which is a real nice transmitter. That's about 300 watts. The Globe King 500. They're pretty cool. You know, one box. The Globe King 500C has the built-in VFO and a few upgrades. They're about 300 watts out. They ran low voltage on those things, and that's why they don't put out a lot of power. T368, of course, military transmitter. It's a real good transmitter. If it's in good shape, they work real good. If you can find one of those, and they come around, you know, guys retire and they keel over, or they move, you know, downsize and go to Florida, or the assisted living, and the stuff goes up for sale. So you can find anything you want almost. You know, I just got to network a little bit. So those are the choices off the top of my head. BC610, if you really want old buzzard, old school stuff, they're really cool. The radio that won the war, World War II, that is. Not one, but you know, big heavy beasts, fun to play with, and you'll learn a lot about tube audio, power supplies, high voltage, and all these archaic technical skills. Anyway, back over to you there, Doug. Hopefully that's some kind of help. And what you want to do is probably, if you look, you know, if you get a transmitter like that, you probably want to maybe try it out, hear it on the air. You know somebody who has worked some of the bugs out and gone through the weak points, as every ham rig ever made seems to have issues, built-in issues, and about the most reliable thing I can think of offhand, and you know, best performing would be a 32V series 100 watt. Other than that, everything seems to need work, but it may have been done already. So there you go. And I have my timer. My timer going. It looks like a tachometer, and I've only gone about 5 or 6 minutes. So over to you there, Doug. KB2UKA from DTS.
All right, Brett, and everyone else giving suggestions. Yeah, I've been doing a little research. It's a large menu. For not wanting to do much work on it. Yeah, you know, I got to get on the air here on 3885, and you know, if I find one, I maybe run it by a couple of you guys. Real quick, the 32V3, that's a 100 watt carrier?
Yes, it's very robust, easy to use. It's really easy to use. It's got really good iron in it. You can Google Collins 32V3 or 2 or 1. You know, the V3 would be like the newer version, but they are a pair of 807s, very common modulator tubes, with a hefty driver transformer and a hefty modulation transformer, driving a 4D32, which is very plentiful, about $35. It's equivalent to two 6146s. It'll put out about 100 watts. It does 80 through, well, it's like kind of a little bit continuous coverage. It does 3.2 megacycles to about 32 megacycles in different bands, and you don't have to do like grid tuning or anything like that. It's all mechanically aligned. There's my timer. That was from 10 minutes though. Yeah, real nice. They're accurate, they're stable, they're attractive, but they're only 100 watts. If you want a little bit more, 100 watts on 40 is good though. KB2UKA, and we also had N9GTO, but he was maybe you can hear him. It was very weak, so maybe turn it over to him there, Doug.
All right, Brett. Well, I appreciate all of it, and everyone else on frequency. I'm going to bow out of here as well. I got home a little early. I got to prepare for the children to come home. And then God knows what's going to happen then. All right, so I'll listen out. N9 GTO, I think I was hearing you before. Brett, 73. Russ, Jim, if you're still listening, 73. I think Brian was in there. I'm not sure. But N9 GTO, pick it up.
Brett, I'll tell you, that is his MO on the reverb. That's his DNA. He's an audio guy. And that's his, he's probably got a little too much in there for him, for on time, banging it rocks. And I love listening to him all the time. He's down in North Carolina. I think he's a local.
All right, Rick. Yeah, I can hang out.
Great today. KB2 is a good rig. It really is. And it's mechanically, it's got a lot of values. It's a very, very real rig. K4JE's running one for the player and the audio, and he's plate modulating the pair of 813, modulating the 813s into a pair of finals of 813s and getting a 4 kilowatt out or better. It's not 1500. And you can look at his website. He's actually got some documentation on there where he's Borgie is taking the B3 and use the as a transmitter as a mic. For the 833 or 833. Go ahead, Britt.
Yeah, I think I could fire mine up. I'm using it as an exciter, but I think I can actually fire mine up. But you know, I would be down maybe an S unit or something. I'm running about a little over 200 watts, and that's going to run 100 watts. So I'm going to be, you know, a little bit lower, but I probably sound pretty much the same. So that kind of gives you an idea. And they're really nice, but if you want a little bit more power, you know, you got to step up. And there's also, you know, people have converted broadcast transmitters. Now, there you're talking, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 pound beasts that many people will park in their garage and operate remotely. So it all depends on what you want to do. But I would say probably the best rig to get in that price range would be a T368 military transmitter. They sound pretty good, and they got really good components. There's plenty of them around. They use common tubes. You know, there's a possibility of actually getting one, and they don't have a lot of the drawbacks of ham gear, which is marginal and pushed to the limits. Like the Johnson 500s, you know, they really, I think they ran like 2,000 volts on 811s, which is like crazy.
Rick, what are you looking to do?
Heat, you know, a lot of heat in a small box kind of thing. Military was a little bit better, but anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it from N2DTS.
You break in, brother. This damn broadcast, like this guy's in Indiana talking, it's killing him.
That's really what he's running for, 811s with a carrier like that coming in here. And it sounds like a pair of 4CX spotty there. You've got the cleanest and the beautifulest body there. For anything, I mean, beautiful. Here's the fucking station. I go twin car. Needs a timeout timer. 3 minutes to talk and 9 minutes to listen. But you have the cleanest signal in the fucking world because you ain't on about you want it perfect. And I listened to you enough, especially this morning, you were talking about the guy with the Viking United, you guys on 95, I believe. As a truck, it's probably the best conversation I've heard quite some times. So, Brett, I want to commend you on your standards of high quality. You know, you were talking about having the
I know.
tubes, the Westron tubes, all
I know,
the
because there was reverb in the signal. Oh, God.
I enjoyed that conversation very much. But at the same time, I want to tell you, I admire how you flip things. Your vertical, I was thinking to myself, how
Yeah, I'm here. Do you want to go to 275? I'm not in the QSO anymore. They think I'm gone. All right, yeah, I'm sitting here. I got 5 minutes.
Norway 8, Sugar, Denmark Radio.
There you are.
Hey Lou, and hello, I think it was Brett that was in there as well. I'm not sure if Doug's still around. I thought he was in there for a couple of minutes, but good afternoon from N8SPR.
Good afternoon, right back to you. Pick it up, Brett.
Okay, I'm having a real hard time picking you guys up. I think you were talking about me there, Louis. If so, well, thanks for the comments. I really appreciate it. I don't do anything fancy here, but I'm going to let you guys carry on because I have a wandering noise source that I guess it's probably somebody's switching supply, and it's parked right on 85 and right above 85, and the band's changing to where you guys are just above the noise level with that noise in there. So I'm going to hit the kitchen and start working on the homemade chicken soup for dinner with dumplings, and let you guys carry on. But thanks for the nice comments there, Louis, if that was directed at me. And I was talking about the Johnson 500. I've listened to
Rick.
Timtron do diatribes on it. And it was something like 1750 or 2000 volts on the 811 modulators, and they had to get special permission from iMac in order to do it, and or whoever made the tubes, and they were biased way up, and I don't know. All those rigs have some kind of shortcut. Put it that way. Anyway, 73s, guys. I'll let you guys carry on. You guys can hear each other. Enter DTS, clear with the frequency. Now returning to normal amateur use.
You're spiraling up and down the band, tearing up every damn thing on the band. That and the rest of the power is
I don't know what Lou's saying right now.
Well, you're putting very little energy into the signal that you're modulating like making it sound beautiful. That's pretty good right there. That's pretty good. So, do this for me. And all those accolades you need 2 years UI book, that's 100%. Look at the QRZ page, and maybe the fact that you're not 30 miles from me, because, man, we will have a problem. I know there was so much unbelievable.
If you don't need it, we're going to just route cutting colors. This is how we're going to do it. And now use it. Perfect. That's how you are, Brent. Because I can keep your signal. You build good quality stuff. I'm proud to know you're the hand and the person. In that GTO with the band going down and broadcast stuff coming in there.
Okay, well thanks for the kind words there, Louis. You can send a check right to my address.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to send me the check. No, seriously. I love the fact that you're sitting in that little chair and all your stuff is to the left of you on the page. This is what's on.
It's getting rough out here, Rick.
And yes, I do have several of those big 1,000-pound transmitters. That will be on the air here for long. And that'll be my primary 40-meter transmitter. So there you go.
Okay, well, you're going to make my head swell up. Well, I look forward to hearing it. 73's guys. I better get off of here before my head explodes. 73's, and thanks for the kind words.
Well, you know what I can do? I can record some audio tape. Very so people should go down and look at it on film. You tell me who, what, when, and where. There you go.
Yeah, this is a screen modulated pair of 4X150s, and the modulator tube is a 6EW7, which is a miniature 9-pin tube.
I will say hello. I was just seeing if it was still active and working. Well, what do you know? All right. Well, I can't hang here too much longer. I got to go and get the wife here in a couple minutes.
Well, go ahead. I know what you're saying. I'm headed when mine goes to work every day. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. Because there's Nest cameras all over the house. I'm constantly being watched as I'm booked, like, treating my medical condition.
All right, Rick, I got to jump. Guys, Andy, Daryl, Mike, if you're still there, hope you guys have a great night. Bob, Rod, you guys as well. Take care. 73.